If you've tuned in to see if you can argue with your spouse and still be madly in love, you're in the right spot.
I'm Kent.
And I'm Annie.
And we're the
Kilkos.
Sound like a game show.
We're your host of Life's Little Arguments. We're not trained experts in love and marriage. Actually, we might be quite dysfunctional, but we have been happily married for 16 years.
Debatable.
Not only will we share all the ups and downs of marriage, but the ins and outs of raising his and her kids, growing through new jobs and opportunities, and our latest obsession, our empty nest babies, our dogs, Blakely and Lincoln.
So if you hear ting, ting, ting across the microphone, they're probably walking across the floor.
Listen in each week while we discuss our life, current events, random TikToks, and the little arguments that undoubtedly come up. Whether you're in a long-term relationship yourself or in a fresh new relationship, we hope you find our podcast fun, entertaining, and helps you realize there is a normal in life's little arguments. Hi. Hiya.
I'm not doing that.
What are you going to do?
Hey, people. What's up?
Hey, people?
These are my people. They're
Oh,
listening. These are my people.
gosh.
Or they will be my people. They're not my people
They're
yet.
not your people yet.
Yeah.
They will be your people. Hey, guys. Well, this is Annie.
And I'm Kent.
And we're the Kilkos.
No, we're
Or
definitely not doing
we're
that
not
every
doing
time.
that
That's in our intro, and that's the only time it gets done.
Okay.
All right, we're not on Nickelodeon.
So we are really excited. This is our first podcast. So
This is my first podcast. Annie is a pseudo expert in podcasts because she's done one before.
Absolutely not. I have done a podcast before with my friend, and it was a lot of fun. And I listen to podcasts. I love podcasts. I listen to them while I get ready in the morning all the time. Kent hates podcasts, so this is something new for him. But I thought it would be fun for us to do one together.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now I'm wondering why did I think this would be fun to do together?
Because you're amazing and I'm amazing, and we have a lot to talk about. And when we talk to people we do know and share our lives on social media and whatnot, they often say, you guys should have a show or you guys should have a podcast or whatever. So you come up with this crazy ass idea to really do it. And you've been asking me to do it for a while now. I finally said yes. So here we are. Let's make it happen.
Here we are. Let's make it happen. So kind of what you can expect from us is we named the podcast Life's Little Arguments because I feel like we have argued more in the last year. Is it the last year? Is it since I closed the store?
Perhaps.
Or was it before that?
It was, I don't know. I think when you had the store, you were so busy that we didn't really have time to argue. But now that you're here home all the time,
yes.
I think your level of irritation has risen slightly.
It's significantly.
And I wouldn't say arguing. Let's get this straight. So when we say life's little arguments, we're talking about bickering. We're talking about love quarrels. We do not raise our voice at each other.
That's a lie. That's the first argument. That
Who
is such a
does?
lie. I absolutely scream and yell at you.
Okay. That part's true, but that doesn't bother me. I don't raise my voice at her. Although Jackson, my stepson, Annie's son, for his entire life of living, we got together when he was 4 or 5 years old, maybe. He always felt like when I say raise my voice, I mean talk more than this. He always felt like I was like yelling at him or arguing with him. So for 20 years or 16 years, I have been accused of...
Okay, Lauren does that too. Lauren says the same thing. You're yelling at her when you're not yelling.
Lauren's just like me.
No,
she will get elevated.
She says the same thing that you're yelling at her, so
fair.
it's not just Jackson.
So maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the common
Right,
denominator.
you are the problem.
Maybe I'm the problem.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Podcast over.
Right.
We just solved everything right there.
So, this is what you can expect from our podcast. We are going to share, I'm going to try to keep track of the stupid things that we argue over because they truly are stupid. And it probably does come down to the fact that I'm at home now and have been at home where I wasn't before. But it's totally idiotic. And no reason really for us to argue over some stuff that we argue. But we thought that would be fun to kind of just share with you.
It might be therapeutic. Like you might realize after all this, damn, I am crazy for getting mad at him because he likes to put dishes in certain locations or he likes rags and towels to be done a certain way. Maybe I am crazy, but go ahead.
You are crazy. You're right.
Maybe I'm hoping it's therapeutic for both of us. And there's probably other people out there who are listening who are like, my husband does get on my damn nerves and my wife gets on my nerves, but I'm going to get past it because this podcast is going to make them feel better about their relationship.
Is that what? Oh,
yes.
God. I hope so. We can only hope that we make you feel better about your relationship.
And if we do, please like and subscribe.
Right, exactly.
Is that how it works? I don't know how it works on podcasts.
Yeah, they need to like and subscribe to our podcast. That's perfect, babe. That was great. So that's kind of what you can expect from us. We're going to kind of share we're going to really share our story. I think it's kind of where we decided to start.
Yeah, so get into it. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
About myself, or do I just jump straight into how we met?
Jump straight into how we met. I want to hear this story, by the way, because for a long time we've had two versions of this story. So Annie, you give your version first.
Okay. So, well, first of all, we met at Geico. We both work at Geico. This was
20 years. We both worked in corporate America.
Yes.
Our backgrounds are in insurance, but go ahead.
Yes. So I don't even really remember what year it was, but we met at Geico. He was in sales at the time. And was I in service or was I in sales?
You were probably a service supervisor. I was a sales supervisor.
Anyway, I was assigned as a chairperson, I suppose, on this huge, summer sales kickoff.
Every year. It's an annual kickoff.
It's huge contest. And big budget for it. Well, this year we had decided on making a, is it the Ryman's? Is it called the Ryman's? The Chinese Theater?
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, the Chinese Theater.
Yeah, we had decided to make the Chinese Theater, and it was indoors. First of all, that was a work of art.
Rob, you remember Rob?
Yes.
Killed it.
He killed it. That was insane. All out of cardboard.
Every detail.
It was insane. Anyway. We made this whole huge Chinese theater, so it literally felt like you were going into this theater to sit down and watch a movie, so it was really cool. Anyway, so we did that, and then along with that, we made little movie clips to show when you got into the theater.
What did we did? Show Me the Money. What was the name of the movie? Show Me the Money.
That was Jerry Maguire, right?
Jerry Maguire. We did Grease.
Yeah, we did Grease. We did...
We Are the Titans.
Yes.
And
I don't remember.
I can't remember a couple other ones. Anyways, a lot of it took a lot of creativity.
A ton of
which
creativity.
Is why I was asked to join the team.
I did not ask him to join the team, but he was asked by management to join the team. And long story short, we put all of it together and presented it. So
what's so bad is that none of us supervisors, none of us managers, none of us directors have the video.
God, it was
I would
so
give
cool.
anything,
I would give anything to look at it.
to have that video. I cannot believe the Corleys did not keep that.
I have one picture.
I cannot believe
I have the Polaroid.
Kay Allen did not keep that.
I have the Polaroid picture of me in my dress that I wore to the red carpet event that day when we had the kickoff contest.
And you'll see why we whatever at this little kickoff thing. When you see her in this dress, well, they can't see. We're not on video. Never mind. I'm sitting here looking like I got a camera in front of me right now. I'm sorry.
That's Future Face. Future Face, we're going to figure out how to hook that tech up.
Once we get enough subscribers, we'll do Future Face.
Sure, or I buy the lights, whichever comes first. But, so anyway, the whole point is, I was a co-chairperson. It was my creative, mine and other people, our creative direction. You were brought in to help with that, and I was the boss. And that's how it went.
So pretty much it's like our marriage is now. You consider yourself the boss. I consider you the boss, but I'm pretty much the one running the show because that's exactly what happened. I stepped in, saved the day with the help of a lot of great people. I'm not trying to take credit.
Because it sounds like you're
but
trying
every idea
to
that I feel like every idea that came up ran through this side of the aisle.
No,
and,
absolutely not.
And anyhow, it was a huge success. We spent hours upon hours upon hours upon hours in it. Anyways, we just happened to, I think the day of the kickoff, Annie and I just happened to be walking into the Chinese Theater together. There was no one there at that point or whatever, and I just kind of like reached over and grabbed her hand. It was almost like we did it. We're here. That was kind of the final of it because when I say it was an ass load of work, it was an ass load of work.
I mean, looking back, I can see actually why they kind of quit doing these kickoffs because it was so much wasted manpower,
Yeah.
honestly.
So I think there was some, when I grabbed her hand, there was really not a lot of intention behind it, but as soon as I grabbed it, there was like, you knew immediately there was something there. You know what I'm saying?
There was no intention behind it?
Well, I don't think I was grabbing it to say, hey, I guess what I'm saying, I think I really was grabbing it to say, we finally made it, we're here at the end, whatever. But then as soon as it happened, it was like, whoa.
There was a immediate connection feeling. Immediate.
I have really soft hands. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
It was, yeah.
So anyways, that's how we met.
history.
Yeah, the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
We've been together since then.
Yep.
Even though your pants were way too short back then.
Right. So I apparently started this style back in 2000. So I started at Geico in 2000.
What year did we?
I don't-
When did we meet? We got married in 2008.
Yeah.
So it must have been 2006.
6, 7. So anyways, I started in 2000. I am younger than Annie. I'm 45. She's 48. Let's just go and put that out there.
First of all, we never agreed to give ages on this podcast.
You said anything goes, so here we are. So apparently when I started, I did not realize the style was to where your khaki's a little shorter. I'm 20, 21 at the time,
Wait,
whatever.
you didn't realize the style was to wear them shorter? It's not. You're talking
But
about
it is now. That's what I'm saying. Like I was a
You're
trendsetter.
you're trying
I was
to
just
say
ahead
that-
of.
Oh,
I
you're
was
trying to
ahead of
say
the
you
trend.
meant to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You did not mean to do that.
No, I did.
You did not.
But anyways, I thought it looked good. I always had fly socks on. Socks were my thing back then. But
His pants were too short. It was not a good look back then.
Okay.
Now it's cute today. They were regular khaki pants.
I've never had
too.
any complaints about the way I look or the way I dress, but okay,
Oh my
that's cool.
God.
No, I'm just saying. But anyhow, so
Which is why I had to come in and fix all that.
so she reminds me after all this time that she loves me for my personality, which is basically a way to say I'm not that physically attracted to you. Now, if
That is
y'all
not
want to know
true.
the way
That
I
is
look,
not true.
if you want to know the way I look, all you have to do is go to Kent Kilco Real Estate on Facebook or Instagram. Give me a like and a follow on my business page at Kent Kilco Real
Stop
Estate,
it.
and you'll see exactly what I look like.
Is Kent Kilco Real Estate a sponsor of this podcast?
Not yet. Future phase. We got a lot of future phases. This is our first podcast, so that makes sense that you would have future phases.
Sure. Anyway, that is the story of basically how we met, that's how we got together.
Yeah.
Because from then it was just we were together.
Yeah. So,
Sort of.
like I said, Annie and I have both been married before. I have a daughter, Lauren, who's 20.
I have a son, Jackson, who is 23. I had to think about that for a
I was
second.
about to say, is that right? Yeah, he'll be 24 in November.
He'll
Yeah,
be 24.
Yeah.
He was a 2000
That's
baby.
crazy.
That's why it's actually
Jackson
easy.
just moved out. Him and his girlfriend Ashley just bought a house. 2-3 months ago,
They
maybe.
built a house, yeah.
Lauren's living with us, still going to school. So we are half empty nesters, which is why we got the dogs, kind of preparing for that. Just a little background on dogs. So I grew up with dogs. I loved them. I have always loved them. Anytime we go somewhere, I want to be around dogs. I asked Annie for years, can we please get a dog? Please, please, please. She's allergic.
I'm very
to her
allergic.
defense, she is allergic. It was either she die or I get a dog.
Okay, I will not die, clearly.
No,
but
you would be miserable though.
I would.
Seriously.
I have asthma.
Eyes
It's-
swollen,
Yeah,
itching,
it's
all that
mostly
stuff.
the asthma, not being able to breathe.
So
kinda
anyhow, I
sucks.
asked for years and years and years. It just never happened. I always told her if I'm alive when she passes away, I'm going to have like 5 dog breeders out in the parking lot of the funeral home ready to go. But anyways, she tells me one day, let's start
I
looking
don't
for...
take offense to that.
Let me start
Hold
looking for
on.
dogs. Go
Okay,
ahead.
go ahead. Continue.
Let me start looking for dogs. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And so, of course, as soon as that door opened, I'm like, hell yeah, jumping in full force. I'm looking online. I bet I look for Blakely through 1,200 dogs. Not even messing. We went through all different
1,200?
breeds and everything else. But what we were trying to find is a certain size, certain breed, both being hypoallergenic. She had the boutique at the time, so we knew that we wanted to have the dog up at the boutique. So we were trying to look for a certain size. So anyhow, she opened the door to it. I looked and looked and looked and looked. We found Blakely at a breeder in North Carolina, and it was like instantly, as soon as I looked at Blakely's eyes, I was like, "This is her. This is the one." And then,
and she was already named Blakely
Yeah.
through the site. Like they named all the dogs.
yeah.
And
Which,
she
by the
just-
way, you don't have to stick with the names that they name them because
No.
some of them are a little weird. Which, I mean, if they breed, I mean, they got to come up with something.
yeah,
I mean, they
no,
run out of
that's
names.
that's completely normal. But hers just made sense.
Yeah. So anyhow, we saw her. We loved her. We fell in love with her. We went to North Carolina, got her, adored her. Annie, what do you like to say about kind of the love of a dog?
Blakely, I did not know my heart needed Blakely because and this is probably for another time we will talk about
Sure.
like fertility issues and struggles that like we went through, but I didn't realize how much my heart was yearning for her and until we got her. And then I was just like, oh my God, I did not know this kind of love existed. And which is actually crazy to say because I have a child. I don't want anybody to think like I don't love my child like that, but he's grown. He doesn't need me anymore. He's not like, I would never call him a mama's boy. He does not, like, he calls me and yes, he comes and he asks me this and that and whatever, but I don't talk to him every day. I don't see him every single day. So he's doing his own thing.
He is an independent man now,
yes.
which is good. We raised him right.
I don't have that child anymore, really, to have that connection, that really close needs me.
Yeah.
And
Which, by the way,
oh my God.
If during this podcast you ever hear me say Jackson was on that teat until he was 6 years old,
I hate you.
just
hate
know,
you so much.
just know that's a trigger for her. Know I am joking. I'm completely joking. He was not on a teat until he was 6. I think he was like 4.
I never breastfed. That is another podcast.
Another
for
joke. We're just
time.
messing around. But anyhow, so she fell in love with Blakely, had her at the store every day. Anyways, so I don't know, probably 9, 10, 11 months later, she was like, I think Blakely needs a friend because she thought Blakely was bored. Whatever.
Blakely was bored. She was ringing on. She was banging that. I don't know if I can say
We have a doorbell.
fuck or not,
Yeah.
but she was banging that doorbell non-stop.
We should have prefaced this at the beginning. What you're going to get with this podcast is authenticity.
Actually,
we cuss.
we should have said that.
Annie cusses a lot more than I do. She definitely says the F-bomb. So if you have kids around, we're not going to be like, it's not going to be a bunch of beeps.
I'm going to really try to reel that in.
But just be mindful of it.
We
So anyhow,
probably should have put that
she
in
was
the
like, Blakely needs a friend. So we ended up looking for Lincoln. Went to found him online with a breeder in Georgia at the Georgia Dog Club, I think it's called. Anyways, trip was a lot shorter. We went up and got him. We were going to name him something else.
We were going to name him Bronx.
Bronx. Yeah,
Bronx.
of course we went through all these names. We wanted one of them with B since Blakely was B.
Yeah, Blakely. We thought Blakely and Bronx would be really cute.
Yeah.
And we went up there with full intentions of calling him Bronx. When we got there and took him outside,
I think we're like, come on, Bronx.
yeah, and we're like, this is not working. This
Yeah.
is not him. And so we had Lincoln already down as like a second choice or whatever. And Bash was also a name that I thought, because when I saw his picture, I'm like, oh, this dude, he looked
like
rough.
trouble.
He looked like trouble. And so Bash came up, and after we were calling Bronx, I'm like, this is just not working. And so we ended up with Lincoln Bash. So we got Blakely Sue and Lincoln Bash.
Okay. We take our dogs everywhere we can. We take them to stores. We take them to parks. We take them to restaurants if we can. They sleep in the freaking bed with us, which we'll probably do an episode on that.
We will talk about that.
I highly
a lot.
recommend not doing it, but whatever. It's too late for that now. So honestly, I'd probably miss them if they didn't sleep in the bed, but we'll talk about that in another podcast. Isn't that good? Don't they call that cliffhangers?
Well, they call it teasers.
Teasers,
actually,
I'm sorry.
but yes.
A cliffhanger's a booger. I think that's what
No, like season premiere, like the season endings.
Oh,
They call
yeah.
those cliffhangers. That's
I
right.
didn't have to say. I thought I had it wrong, but sorry.
Anyway, I feel as though you just like you went way farther than I really originally anticipated.
Listen, if you
going.
don't give me an agenda, bro, this is what's going to happen.
Well, I do have a slight agenda.
Okay.
So because I do listen to a lot of podcasts, one of the things I heard somebody recently talking about is this, what day of the week are you? And so I have not read this yet. But I thought it would be kind of cute for us to determine what day of the week we are. So just off the top, I already know mine. So off the top,
Friday.
Is that what you think you are?
Absolutely.
So why do you think you're a Friday?
Because Friday is the baddest of the bad day of the week.
You think so?
Yeah, it is the day that people want to have the most fun. And if you go out on a Friday and you stay out till whatever time, it makes your weekend seem a lot longer. Which if you come home and go to bed on a Friday night, then the weekend just flies by. If you don't believe me, try it. We'll try it next weekend.
No, I don't want to. Which one? Do which way?
Stay out on Friday.
Oh, I don't know if I can.
Which we probably would anyways, but go ahead.
All right, so I felt like I was torn because I feel like I'm either a Thursday or a Friday. I look forward to both days. Thursday, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's almost the weekend. I'm so excited. Like, either you're fixing to go out of town on Friday, or it's just like, you come in on Friday, there's not a whole lot, I don't want to say a whole lot to do, but you usually try to have a lighter day on a Friday when you're working, and it's like, so I feel the same way. Friday is the day. So I'm torn between a Thursday and a Friday. So let me read to you if you're Friday, what that means, and let's see if you think you are in fact a Friday.
Okay.
So if you're a Friday, well, what do we have here? You live your life so carefree that we never know what you're going to do next.
I'm not a Friday.
You're not a Friday.
Listen,
it's extremely hard for someone to lock you down as your calendar is filled with plan after plan every single day of the week. You love big events. The more people, the better. That actually is partly.
Yeah.
You struggle to juggle your social calendar and are known for being a bit spacey when it comes to remembering important things. That's true. You're a hard worker and usually find yourself going above and beyond for your job. You do, however, get burnt out quickly and yearn for multiple mini holidays throughout the year. Fridays are the life of the party, and by party, I mean literally all social events. You're keen for pre-event catch-ups as well as post-event catch-ups and everything in between. That 100% is you. You're chronically online because your mind has to be occupied 24/7, also you, which allows you to be prime gossiper and hold the knowledge amongst your peers. Your fellow Fridayers are Kim Kardashian, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Dua Lipa.
Duh. I fit in perfect with them. But the whole not knowing what you're going to... Let me just go ahead and get this out there, people. I eat the same exact thing for breakfast every day. I eat the same exact thing for lunch every day. And right when I finish my lunch, I'm asking Annie what's for dinner because I'm planning the dinner.
Which honestly, if I could get rid of one question in
this household, because Lauren does it too.
Yes, yeah. In this household, for sure, it is that question of what's for dinner because I really want to throw something.
But we're planners. We're both planners.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like plans.
That's
whatsoever.
fair enough.
All right, so if you're a Thursday, so I'm gonna based on that Friday, like there's a few things that I relate to, but definitely not a whole lot.
Not the main. Yeah, I agree.
So I'm going to go with Thursday, and let's see if I relate to this. It says, if you're a Thursday, if you identify as a Thursday-er, you really wanted to be a weekend day, but didn't want to sound too obnoxious. Don't worry, you're in the right place. You're stressed 24/7, and even though you try not to let it show, we can all see it in your eyes. Don't worry, being stressed isn't always a bad thing. It helps you get things short and sweet. Keep things short and sweet. Thursdays love a fun time, but not a long time. I would say that's me. You want to be home by 9 p.m. most days, but don't get me wrong. If you're at a social event, you are the social event. The minute everyone finds out that a Thursday is coming, the vibe is immediately lifted. You're the master of small talk and can make anyone feel like they're interesting and funny. You know a good idea. Stop making those faces. You know a good idea when you see it and love tapping into that creative side of your mind. Thursdayers like you include Taylor Swift, Donald Glover, and Tom Cruise.
You know, one thing that resonated with me about you on that one is I think you said when you go to the social, you are the social whatever. It amazes me the number of people who think that you're not an introvert because of the way you are once you're in that setting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you say that you're an introvert, they're like, "What? There's no way." You know, but I think a lot of people misinterpret what an introvert is.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say that. I think there's different levels of introvertedness. Because once you finally get out there and you're there, you do typically have a good time. Now,
I do.
being around certain people and the energy and the music and, if there's any alcohol, I mean, all that stuff kind of plays into it.
Yeah. I have to be in I have to be in the right mindset. If I'm not in that mindset of I'm fixing to have a good time, then I'm definitely not going to have a good time. But and it's also the dread of going. Like once I get there, okay, fine, it's cool, it's fun, we had a good time. But sometimes it's just the dread of actually going.
And I'm sure that we'll have an episode on this, but you had said something too about like being stressed all the time. I don't think you're stressed all the time, but when you are stressed, like I instantly know it. Instantly. Like you can walk into a room and I'm like, and this is probably one of our quote unquote arguments, life's little arguments, is I will look this girl in the eye and say, Annie, something's wrong. Tell me what's wrong. She will deny it until and I'm like, dude, it's your energy, it's your vibration, it's your everything. I can just feel it. And she has finally gotten to the point now where she will maybe kind of admit it, because she went on this little thing a couple years ago where she got real big into manifestation and body energy and vibrations and all this other stuff. I loved that phase. I loved it. Like she thought I was like ridiculing it and making fun of it. I was not at all. I was like deep into it. But I didn't like get like listening to podcasts and going to sleep to it and all stuff. So she thought I was not interested, but I loved listening to her talk about it, and I loved the energy that it created. But it helped me kind of tune into her vibration and her energy. So now I would say 95% of the time I'm accurate. And you play this little whatever card, and then literally 10 minutes later you're like, okay.
Yeah, but sometimes too you feel as though you make it seem as though I can control that. We've already talked about my human design personally, and we'll talk about it on a different podcast. We're jumping way.
Human design is good, by the way.
It is really good.
That's another cliffhanger, by the way.
It is a cliffhanger. We'll talk about that in another podcast. But I literally can wake up out of the bed, and it's just not the day. And it's not for any particular reason other than, hey, Blakely, it's not the day.
Yeah. So if you're in a relationship, again, we're not experts, but if you're in a relationship and you find that your significant other gets up out of bed and there's just an energy that's off, it's easy to immediately assume it's you. It's easy to kind of take on that energy. But I think that the better you can get at identifying what that energy is and when it's there, and you guys learn how to communicate a little bit better, it's just going to help everyone involved. I mean, family, friends, dogs, everyone in this girl's eyesight is going to be better. I'm just teasing. But seriously, I think communication and understanding around that makes a big difference. Because I used to get offended. Like, I used to get defensive and offended and upset.
What? You're admitting that you got defensive?
Yeah, because you automatically assume it's you, but I have learned over the years that sometimes it's just the way you are. But I do think it's important to point it out when it's like that, because it's obvious. Jackson would even tell you it's obvious.
Yes, yeah. And he does the same thing, so whatever.
He might be worse, actually.
Well, let's not. Okay, well, I don't really have
How long did this go?
We're at 27 minutes.
Shut the front door. I thought we were going to do like a 15-minute podcast.
Well, you freaking
Well, if that's the case,
mouth.
we need to end this at exactly 30 minutes because 29 or 31 is not going to work.
Oh, God.
So how close are we now?
We're at 27 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, geez, what are we talking about?
No.
Just teasing. We're seriously, all jokes aside, were there any other days on there that you thought you might have been?
No, I kind of briefly went through them, and first of all, I'm like, who's a Monday? Like, who's a Sunday?
I know some Mondays. Their name is Karen. No, just teasing.
I'm thinking Sundays and Mondays, those gotta be first of all...
Don't talk about the holy day now. You can't say anybody's bad about
Sunday. To me, Sunday is a day of nothing but dread for Monday.
Those are people getting ready for the week.
You're absolutely right.
I bet they're very productive.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, they're very much into planning.
They plan schedules. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not me.
That's not me either.
That's not me.
They're probably the most successful people in the world are Sundayers.
Let's see. Saturday people, they prioritize their leisure and relaxation over anything else. They work to live and love counting the days till your next big holiday. I feel like that actually probably should be more me now these days. Wednesday people, it says they are the glue of the friendship groups. They have calm demeanors, allow them to be the person that everyone opens up to and feels safe with. They're level-headed. They're known for never rushing into anything. It says they're usually forgotten souls amongst the louder personalities. I'm looking at you Thursday. I feel like this might be me.
We'll pick up on that next episode.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Tuesdays. Who are Tuesday people? As a Tuesday, you love filling your cup. You aim for a perfect mix of fulfillment in both work and leisure. You love the feeling of achieving something, whether it's completing a big project at work or making your bed in the morning. If you're a Tuesday, you usually start the morning great and energetic, but experience a big dip in your mood around 2 p.m. Don't worry, though. You'll get a second wind around 5 p.m. Just when you thought you'd have to cancel the drinks with the girls, blah, 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 quick wit, da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, and then Mondays, these people live to work. They love it. They are structured. They are smart. They are organized. They are the planners. Probably more so than the Sunday people, actually.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So that is the furthest thing for me.
All right, so that was my official first podcast ever. Give me a hand.
I know, right?
We hope that you like and subscribe. Let me get
Yes.
that right.
Wherever you listen to your podcast,
Yeah, of course,
like and subscribe. And actually, if you enjoyed this, give us a review.
We're in Georgia. We're in Georgia, so we know there are people who live around here who are probably going to like and subscribe and listen to all this stuff. We hope, at least. Hope we don't talk about it. No, I'm just teasing. But if you don't live around here and you don't know us, we hope that you give us an opportunity. Listen to a few episodes. If you like us, keep listening. If you don't, then that's fine as well.
They can find us on Instagram, Life's Little Arguments.
And I'll go ahead and get a plug here because I'm going to be a sponsor one day. Even though my background is insurance, I'm now the creative realtor in Middle Georgia. So if you or anyone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate in Middle Georgia, call your boy Kent Kilco, 478-960-3727.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Radio
just
voice.
teasing. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We will be back next week with another probable stupid. I can't even talk. Forget it.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.